All right, guys, the countdown has officially begun. The countdown to what is an announcement that we've all kind of known has been coming for a while, and that is the announcement of the PlayStation 5 Pro. Now, I say that this announcement is one that really isn't a surprise because over the last couple months, there's been speculation, there's been leaks, images, and we pretty much know exactly what the PlayStation 5 is going to look like. However, there are some things that we still don't know. We don't know how much this thing is going to cost, and we don't know when it's coming out. We assume it's going to be coming out sometime in the near future, probably holiday 2024, but that is yet to be confirmed. And the big question, how does this thing run? How is it different than the PS5 that currently exists? And why should you spend your money? All of those things I want to find out and more. And I don't think this is going to be a presentation of upcoming games. I do believe that it's been rumored that there is a PlayStation Direct state of play that is going to be dropping later this month, sometime around the last week or so of this month. So, you know, we'll kind of be looking out for that. And that is supposed to have information surrounding first party games and potentially a world premiere. Again, these are all rumors. You know, we'll have to wait and see until we get an official announcement from PlayStation, from Sony. But today is all about the tech demo of what the PS5 Pro is capable of. So I'm curious to see what exactly this thing can do and why it's going to justify a potential $600, probably $600, $650 price tag. But thanks for letting me check this video out with you guys. Let me know what your thoughts about the PS5 Pro. Is this something you're going to be picking out? And at the end of this video, I'll give you my first impressions, thoughts, you know, what I think about this thing and all that kind of stuff. So without further ado, guys, 10 seconds down, we are about to jump into the world premiere tech demo of potentially the PS5 Pro.
Sony. I'm excited to be here to talk about the newest addition to our console lineup.
Let's see it.
PS5 Pro, and how it advances gaming technology.
What a surprise.
To take just a minute to look at what we put in the original PlayStation 5 and how it delivers an exceptional gaming experience.
How much is it? That's what we all want to know.
When PS5 debuted in 2020, it brought a lot to the table. 8 Zen 2 CPU cores form the brains of PlayStation 5 and enable high-speed complex gameplay, with character counts reaching into the hundreds and frame rates that can be as high as 120 frames a second. PS5 has a powerful RDNA 2 GPU, which can render anything from intricate details to fantastic worlds with vast panoramas to explore.
Dude, we need a Ghost of Tsushima too.
Allows for dramatic visual improvements, including reflections off of water or glass, and the realism that comes from real-time global illumination. A custom SSD can load data at breathtaking speed, resulting in ultra-fast transitions between game worlds and data streaming rates so high that traversal speeds are essentially unlimited.
Dude, that scene still gives me chills.
Tempest 3D audio tech brings an unparalleled sense of immersion to the sound of the games. With audio so real, you may not even need to see the enemies to know exactly where they are. Finally, the DualSense controller has haptics that let you feel through your hands what your character is experiencing inside of the game. It's wonderful to see such variety and richness of game experiences.
We also increased the price of the controller.
Amazing use of the hardware capabilities, but when I talk to them, I do hear about their desire for more graphics performance. The dreams of the developers are bigger than can be supported at 60 frames per second, and that leads to an aspect of modern gaming that we're all familiar with: graphics modes. It can be a difficult choice for players. Fidelity modes emphasize the visuals, typically through higher resolution rendering. These modes might also have enhanced detail or use more ray tracing. But the games only run at 30 frames per second. The visuals can be choppier and the controls less responsive.
Damn, I didn't know they ran at 30.
Emphasize frame rate and interactivity, typically choosing to run at 60 frames per second. Mainly by reducing the graphical detail until those frame rates can be achieved. When asked to decide on a mode, players are choosing performance about 3/4 of the time. Removing that decision, or at least narrowing that divide, is one of the key targets for PlayStation 5 Pro. We want to give players the graphics that the game creators aspire to, at the high frame rates that players typically prefer. To do that, PS5 Pro substantially improves over PlayStation 5 in 3 ways. Here's what we call the Big 3.
Larger GPU, advanced ray
First, we made
tracing.
the GPU much larger and increased the speed of the memory it uses. The result is rendering that's up to 45% faster. Second, we made major upgrades to the ray tracing, taking a streamlined and accelerated approach that allows calculation of the rays at double or even triple the speeds of PlayStation 5.
I have no idea what any of that means. Just show me the games.
Machine learning, and an AI library called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR for short. PSSR analyzes the game images pixel by pixel and can add an extraordinary amount of detail, which boosts the effective resolution of the games. Game creators are adding PS5 Pro support to new and existing titles, and with the big three involved, the results can be pretty amazing, with graphics showing something like fidelity levels of detail, but at double the frame rate.
Interesting.
Here's The Last of Us Part 2 running on PS5 Pro. It has huge amounts of detail and targets a super smooth 60 frames per second.
But I still wonder if like you have to have a TV that can support that.
PS5, which is only running at 30 frames per second and is therefore much choppier.
Don't stop! We gotta lose.
This goal of delivering almost fidelity-like graphics at performance frame rates has been achieved for a broad set of titles, including Marvel's Spider-Man 2 and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. We can see that PS5 Pro is close to doubling the power of PlayStation 5. Another way to compare the two
Does anyone see
is
it?
to look at PS5 Pro versus Performance mode on PS5, both of which target 60 frames per second. What we see here is a difference in detail. PS5 Pro is much sharper and crisper than PS5. For this, my favorite is the parade scene from Ratchet & Clank. Distant details are much clearer. And here we can see Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is noticeably higher resolution throughout the scene.
Yeah, I guess you can kind of see it.
And procedural cars.
The question is it worth the increased price tag?
Overall, some remarkable improvement to the games. On PS5 Pro, we can see increased sharpness to the graphics or smoother and more responsive gameplay. This is the big three showing their value. As you've been seeing, machine learning via the PSSR library is being used quite broadly to add pixel detail and boost frame rate. But there are as many approaches as there are game engines. The increase in raw GPU power is being especially effective for Horizon Forbidden West. Apart from the detail boost,
An already gorgeous game.
power is allowing for improvements to lighting and visual effects, as well as to the hair and the skin in cinematics.
Open up, guys. Jorv's orders.
Good enough for me.
Ray tracing is finding broad usage as well, particularly when the games are focused on higher frame rates. The faster hardware in PS5 Pro can make a real difference. Allowing Gran Turismo 7 to add ray-traced reflections between the cars in gameplay.
Somehow I had a feeling Gran Turismo was going to be used in this demo.
That boost in ray tracing is also delivering big wins for Hogwarts Legacy,
Ooh.
allowing not only for better reflections and a greater variety of reflective surfaces, but also for further realism in the casting of shadows. I hope you've enjoyed this run-through of the technology behind PlayStation 5 Pro.
How much does it cost?
It's the most powerful console we've ever built.
How much
Worthy addition to the PS5 family.
does it
Let me wrap
cost?
this up by giving you a quick look at a number of games running on the new console.
All right, let's see him. Let's see him. So the design was already leaked. You know, we kind of knew it just had 3 lines. It's a little slimmer, I guess. I've never been sold on the PS5's design. I'm not gonna lie. I think I don't know. I love my PS5, but I definitely would have preferred a different design.
Close your eyes. It'll be worth it.
Okay.
You know, the thing that worries me about this is that in the next 2 to 3 years, they're going to be talking about the new PS6 or whatever, right? Because that'll mark like 7 years. I think that's about the typical timeline, 6-7 years. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it looks good. I worry. I don't know. I'm curious. $700? $700? Oh no, 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 no. All right, guys, there you have it. The PS5 Pro in all of its glory. And let me say, you know, from first impressions in terms of the design, you know, we you know, if you've been on the internet at all, this design was already leaked, you know, a long time ago. You know, a few months ago, I feel like this design was leaked. But, you know, leaks, you know, are you know, they're not always trusted, you know, sources. And so you kind of always have to wait for the official announcement. But, you know, from what the leak showed, it very much looked and felt like, okay, that's probably what it is. It's probably not going to look that much different. It's going to have more fans on the side. I guess I don't know what those ridges are. It looks like it's just more fan vents because it's doing a lot more. It's likely going to be running hotter and potentially result, you know, take us back to the nostalgic days of the PS4 running like an airplane. Now let's talk about the biggest selling point of the PlayStation 5, what they're calling the big three: larger GPU, advanced ray tracing, and AI-driven upscaling. Now, for me personally, I feel like the only real selling point for me, right? I know everybody's different. For me, the only big selling point would be the larger GPU, which would ultimately result in the games running smoother, faster, higher frame rates, stuff like that. In terms of the advanced ray tracing, I don't know, you know, that is something that I potentially could see myself using, but with most of the games that I've played on PS5, I honestly, you know, I couldn't tell you if the ray tracing was on or not. Like, it's just not something that I really pay that much attention to. I felt like the games look good, and so, you know, most of the games, like they say, most of the gamers, you know, are choosing performance mode, and this is hoping to kind of mitigate that, you know, allowing you to have higher performance while also, you know, having a very upscaled next-gen gaming experience. The AI-driven upscaling is something that even when it was described and even when it was showed, you know, I'm not someone that really understands that until I actually see it. So, you know, even going back and watching that particular section, it was something that didn't really make sense to me. AI-driven upscaling, I have no idea. It's something that we would have to see, but, you know, overall, you know, when it comes down to it, guys, it doesn't really feel like much is changing. Obviously, what you would expect from a PS5 Pro is very similar to what we got with the PS4 Pro. It is the same system. It is upscaled in a way that boosts some of the important factors. You know, this one obviously boasting, you know, faster, you know, load times, better, you know, games running better, games looking their best while running better. It basically is doing what I'm sure many people would assume and would have hoped the PS5 would have been doing all along. And while I will say showcasing games like Ratchet and Clank, Ghost of Tsushima, right, The Last of Us 2 was one that was showcased quite a bit in terms of how well this machine runs, I think that there's still a very big factor that is going to be a make or break for a lot of gamers. And ladies and gentlemen, that is this right here. Money, the price tag, $700. And keep in mind, it comes out November 7th, so that's not too long away. You know, not too long, you know, of a wait. But, you know, the big issue, I think, for a lot of people is going to be that $700 price tag. And listen, I never thought I would say it. I never thought I would be the one to be pushing you in this direction. But as someone that does have a PC, I will say you could get a decently running PC, you know, for double this cost. So, you know, I know $700, it's a lot, man. Like that's a lot. And for a system that is likely only gonna last, I would say probably about 3 years or so, you know, I don't know. Obviously, you know, I'm not gonna tell you how to spend your money. If a PS5 Pro is what you want, you're definitely, you know, you're sold on the console experience, then, you know, obviously do with that what you will, you know, spend your money how you want it. But you know, even at the beginning of this video, we talked about, you know, a quick prediction and even thinking about this, you know, reveal. I was thinking all last night about what this thing was going to cost, because that was going to be the determining factor. Doesn't matter what's in this console, doesn't matter what it's doing. The games could be popping out to you in real life and, you know, 3D virtual reality, you know, experiences and all that stuff. It wasn't going to matter to a lot of people until they saw the price. Now, when we look at the PlayStation 5, right, I believe that though the regular one is what, $499, so it's $500, with the all digital version being $400. And, you know, when I thought about the PS5 Pro, I was like, okay, well, it's definitely going to be more than 500, 100%. But when I thought about it, I was like, okay, maybe they'll drop it for 600, maybe 650 felt more like it, but $700? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Get you a Steam Deck or a PC, you know, a moderately decent PC. You could probably get that for a little under $2,000. I don't know, something like that. But at least you know that, you know, you buy a PC for about $2,000, maybe a little bit less. You know that thing's gonna last you a lot longer. And really, it's you know, you're future-proofing your gaming experience. But anyway, this is not me trying to sell you on a PC. It's really just saying $700. I don't know about that, guys. I really don't know. I was not expecting it to be $700. And I know I'm harping on the price tag, right? We should be focusing on the good things that were presented in this reveal. And obviously that being, you know, the faster frame rates, the, you know, faster GPU, all that kind of stuff. But I can't get over the price tag. I'm sorry. Anyway, guys, we knew it was coming. We knew that a PS5 Pro would get announced. I think in terms of the design, it looks all right. I mean, for the most part, it looks like the PS5 Slim that they just launched, last year, with more lines. So it didn't even do anything substantially different on the visual part, and it added a $200 price tag, you know, with increased specs and all that kind of thing. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see. It's one of those things that I think you're just gonna have to see it for yourself to really understand what it does. You know, I think, you know, it's too early to tell if this thing is gonna be worth the money. In my opinion, I would just have to see games run on it compared to a PS5 to see exactly how, you know, what the differences are. But in my personal opinion, I feel like my PS5 runs just fine. And, you know, I don't really see a need to get a PS5 Pro, but let me know what you guys think. Are you sold on what you saw here? Is a PS5 Pro something that you've been waiting for? Are you excited with what you saw? Does it convince you? Are you willing to look past the $700 price tag in order to do so? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section. As for me, I think I'm gonna stick with my PS5. That's just my personal opinion, but I would love to know yours down in the comments section. And drop a like on this video if you do enjoy, subscribe if you're new here. I just want to share this video with you guys. I was really excited to see this announcement and you know, kind of see exactly what the PS5 Pro, which has been rumored for so long, feels like all year we've been hearing about this thing, and it was cool to see exactly what it's bringing to the table, which in my opinion is not much. But let me know what you guys think. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.